Hello, welcome to Code Rhetoric with Tam Talk. In this segment, we will be focusing on glaucoma. ICD-10 General Coding Guideline states, assign as many codes from category H40, which represents glaucoma, as needed to identify the type of glaucoma, the affected eye, and the glaucoma stage. The ICD-10 General Coding Guideline further states, as it pertains to bilateral glaucoma with the same type and stage, when a patient has bilateral glaucoma and both eyes are documented as being the same type or stage, and there is a code for bilateral glaucoma, report only the code for the type of glaucoma, bilateral, with the seventh character for the stage. When a patient has bilateral glaucoma and both eyes are documented as being the same type and stage, and the classification does not provide a code for bilateral glaucoma, for example, subcategories as in H40.10 and H40.20, we're to report only one code for the type of glaucoma with the appropriate seventh character for the stage. Bilateral glaucoma with different types or stages. When a patient has bilateral glaucoma and both eyes are documented as having different types or a different stage, and the classification distinguishes laterality, we are to assign the appropriate code for each eye rather than the code for bilateral glaucoma. When a patient has bilateral glaucoma and each eye is documented as having a different type, and the classification does not distinguish laterality, for example, subcategories H40.10, H40.11, and H40.20, we are to assign one code for each type of glaucoma with the appropriate seventh character for the stage. When a patient has bilateral glaucoma and each eye is documented as having the same type but different stage, and the classification does not distinguish laterality, we are to assign one code for the specific glaucoma stage documented for each eye. The ICD-10 General Coding Glaucoma Stages. One of the following seventh placeholder characters is to be assigned to code or glaucoma code, for example, the open angle, the low tension or pigmentary or residual glaucoma types, to designate the stage of glaucoma. So our first one is 0, which represents the unspecified stage. 1 represents the mild stage. 2 represents moderate stage. 3 represents severe stage, and 4 represents the intermediate stage. And this staging or stage list is located in your tabular list in the subcategory or the code category for glaucoma. So in our first coding example, our patient is being seen for evaluation of low tension glaucoma of the right eye with an unspecified stage. So in our first book set, we're going to identify our main term, which is glaucoma. Remember, it is not right eye. Eye just identifies the anatomical location in which the glaucoma is located. Again, when we're locating or trying to identify our ICD-10 code or our diagnosis, we want to look for the main term or the issue why that patient is being treated or evaluated. So again, in this particular example, the patient has glaucoma. So we're going to identify glaucoma, which is our main term, and then we're going to drill down because the doctor did specify what type of glaucoma, which is the low tension. When we go to low tension, we receive guidance that redirects us to open angle, which is also the same for low tension. So once we go to open angle, our ICD-10 code should be H40.121. And then we have a 7-digit placeholder. So once we turn to our tabular list in the back to confirm our diagnosis code, there we will find the stages for our glaucoma. And so based upon the documentation or the assessment of the patient's treatment, the stage of the glaucoma is unspecified. And so based upon the stage listing, 0 represents the unspecified stage. So our final ICD-10 code should be H40.1210. And again, in our rationale, the patient again was diagnosed with low tension glaucoma of the right eye, which is unstageable or unspecified. So based upon the coding guidelines notated in the tabular list, the 7th digit placeholder is designated for the stage of glaucoma. Per documentation, the patient has an unspecified stage, which is equated to 0. Therefore, the coder should assign ICD-10 code H40.1210, which represents the low tension glaucoma of the right eye with an unspecified stage. In our next coding example, our patient is being treated for primary open-angle glaucoma with mild stage in the left eye and moderate stage in the right eye. So in our first book step, we're going to identify our main term, which is glaucoma. Once we locate or identify the main term, we're going to drill down to open angle, and then we're going to further drill down to primary. So our ICD-10-CM code category is represented by H40.11, and we're missing our 6th and 7th digit placeholders. So in our second book step, we're going to refer to our tabular list for guidance. And there we have the glaucoma stages listed, which is represented again with 0 representing the unspecified, 1 for mild, 2 for moderate, 3 for severe, and 4 for indeterminate. So again, because the provider specified that there was glaucoma in both eyes, the left and the right, he also specified the different levels or the different stages that are represented in each eye. So once we get to our category in our tabular list, our ICD-10's codes should be H40.1121, which represents the left eye. The 6-digit placeholder represents the left, and the 1 represents the stage, which was mild. And our next ICD-10 code is H40.1112. 1 represents, again, the right eye, and 2 represents the moderate stage. So therefore, in this example, we should have 2 ICD-10 codes, although both eyes have glaucoma, but they each have a different stage, glaucoma stage. Therefore, we have to assign 2 different ICD-10 codes to clearly specify or represent the types and the stages of the glaucoma in each, the right and the left eye. So with our rationale, again, the patient presented with bilateral primary open-angle glaucoma, and based upon the coding guidelines, the 7th digit placeholder represents the stage or stages of the glaucoma. The left eye has a mild stage glaucoma, which should be assigned 1, and then the right eye has moderate stage glaucoma, which should be assigned 2. So our coding tips for this segment is number 1, to always assign as many codes from category H40 that are needed to identify the type of glaucoma, the stages, as well as the affected eye. Secondly, pay attention to the ICD-10-CM coding guidelines or additional or inclusion notes located in the tabular list. Thirdly, remember to always code to the highest specificity. And lastly, when in doubt, always reference your coding guidelines or query your healthcare provider for clarification. This concludes our segment of Code Rhetoric with Tam Talk. To learn more, please subscribe to our YouTube channel at Abraham Medical Coding Coach Abraham, or visit our website at www.abrahammedicalcodingcoachllc.com, and be sure to follow us on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. Thank you.